Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
And we're back, guys. What's up, man?
We're back again.
Today, man. Normally there's 3 of us, but today.
Yeah, we have a special guest. And before I get to my special guest, you know what I mean, I want to let everybody know this is Playbook, guys, where we bring you weekly content on how to empower.
There's the voice changing.
Don't start, bro. Don't start.
There's the voice changing.
As you guys can see, wait a minute. As you guys can see, we have drinks.
You see this?
We have drinks, but I'm gonna go back and I'm
Stop
gonna do
giving
it
people the
right
impression that we're drunk, bro. Come on.
No, that's
Oh my God, yo.
that is not what we're doing.
I can't stand it. Yo, you do that.
All the time. I just had a little mental fight. That's what happened. No, stop.
I swear.
So, anyways, Playbook, guys, where we bring you weekly content on how to empower, influence, and encourage our listeners and our viewers. Man, this is Playbook, guys.
Playbook.
Took him a while, but he got it.
We apologize again. I don't know how he can mess that up every single time.
I don't know. It's just a mental thing, man.
Is it a mental thing?
It's a mental thing. So let me go ahead and introduce our guest here today, guys. We have a very special guest, man. We've known this individual for quite some time, and in today's topic, I think he's going to bring some very good insights on what we're trying to bring to you guys in this episode. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Celso.
Celso is in the building. Celso. One of my favorites.
How can they find you, man?
Favorites.
How can they find you just in case, they really fuck with you after this?
So I try not to be found. But somebody really
Okay, but that's why we brought him in today.
I try not
that's
to be found.
That's why we brought him in.
But if you really want to find me, all I have is Instagram. I don't have no Facebook, no Twitter, nothing else. It's C Morales 625.
Morales.
C Morales.
625.
Like see with your eyes when you're looking at me.
Okay, what about Social Security?
That I'm not.
All right, guys, I tried. Damn it.
All right. Man. So before we get into the catch up, something that we're gonna kind of start doing, even though you've already kind of seen us take shots, we're gonna go ahead and take a shot to introduce and make my boy Celso
our guest. This is gonna be the guest thing to do.
I know, right?
This is the guest
start doing this more
often. On the air.
On the air.
There we go. Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
Let's get ready for my cough. Here we go.
Yeah, let's do
it, guys. Salud.
Ooh.
That's smooth.
Not bad.
Right? You usually don't want to cough, no?
And I normally cough, man.
I don't know why.
So what's
it's because you had the coffee first, that's why.
Yours over here.
I think that's why. Suli, El Café.
Suli, El Café, this the promo.
Yeah.
El Café. All right, so we got coffee, we got alcohol, and we are good to go. What was last week like, guys? What was like? Who wants to set it off? Celso, how was your week last week, man? We want to hear what Celso did.
My week was all right. It was pretty quiet.
Whoa, what happened?
What did happen?
You a fucking idiot, bro.
You were recording
You're
again?
a fucking idiot, bro.
None
I
of it?
swear to God.
Okay, I mean, this part's on camera, so we're going to show this, and it's going to go bloop until, like, doing it again.
You know the bloopers I was talking about?
Yeah.
No
way.
No, you know what happened?
You.
No.
Bro, yeah. Let's do another shot. Bro, this is
I
literally...
don't know what the fuck happened. I literally hit.
You did the same thing last episode.
Are you that nervous?
Damn, I'm feeling that shot right now.
Yeah.
You're feeling what?
I'm feeling it in my belly.
In your belly?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, man. So talking about
last week
and stuff that we did. Anything interesting you guys did last week, man? I'll start with.
What I want to say is that let's start with Celso, man.
Yeah, man. Let's start with our guest. Celso, what's good?
What happened?
Anything fun last week? Anything you learned?
I like Celso.
Last week was pretty quiet. Played some golf. I got out, enjoyed the weather.
Nice. You're a golfer, okay?
Play a little golf. I mean, I try to play golf. Nobody really plays golf. Like you try to play golf. But I went out there, had some fun. Got a little bit of a tan on my face. Got some sun out there. So
there you go.
So real quick, my question is that I feel like we're all kind of from the same neck of the woods. How did you stumble across golfing?
So, a funny story, right? So I grew up an athlete. I played basketball, football, baseball. I played everything as a kid. But your body doesn't keep up with all that. So after a while, you get a little older. You still want to do something fun and competitive. And then you also want to enjoy yourself.
So you're saying you're getting rusty?
Nah,
so
I'm not
golf,
saying that.
no. What he's trying to say is that golf is
too.
that kind of sport that you could kind of go with
any age, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes
They
sense.
wouldn't know that because
I would have no idea.
Because it's like basketball. I love basketball. I would try to play basketball. My mind thinks that I can do certain things that my body says, nah. You can't
That's
do
when
that
your body started giving up.
Yeah, so that's where golf comes in.
I see. That's what's
Because
up.
it's hard, from Our neck of the woods is basketball, football, like soccer, things like that.
Video
games, tag. Golf doesn't really get introduced, I feel like, until you're older.
Much
yeah,
older.
you know what I mean?
Same thing, even like tennis, right? Like tennis
is
dope, man. Yeah, tennis is fun.
This sport, so golf, I mean, especially like I grew up in the inner city, obviously. It's not something that you have access to. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
It's expensive. Just to practice golf, it costs money. Basketball, you get a basketball, you go outside wherever you want. You can play in the rain, the snow, this, to that. You can't do that with golf.
How much would it cost? Like if you want to go and play, like you want to go with 2 of your friends and you have to.
It's expensive. Like if I want to go, let's say I want to go to the driving range just to practice.
Yeah.
That's anywhere from $10 to $15 every single time just to practice.
Yeah.
If I want to go and play like 9 holes, that's about $30.
Every time you go play.
Every time you go play. So I play 3 times in a week. That's a couple $100. Adds up quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Then you got to buy the gear.
The gear is expensive.
The clubs are expensive. And you can buy cheap clubs because some people do it, but then the experience is not it's not the same.
Can you buy like a membership to a club?
You can.
Yeah.
How
much does that go for?
Those are in a couple thousands.
Yeah. Damn.
So you got to
Holy
really
shit.
You gotta.
Yeah, you really.
And do you have to apply? Because I feel like a lot of those places are like.
Yo, you pay, they'll let anybody.
Like clubs.
Listen, if
They
your
don't
money's
care.
green,
You can suck at
they'll
it.
let you in there.
There you
They
go.
have rules, obviously. They'll be like, hey, you gotta, just like this, do like this. They'll have certain
Yeah.
rules to
That's
make
what's
sure.
up.
But if you pay for it, they're gonna let you in.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Nice,
Oh, we have to play
So
golf
we gotta-
sometime,
Yeah,
man.
let's
Get
do it.
set up.
I'm with it. I told you guys.
Did you hit the gym last week
once?
to keep up with this golfing experience?
Once.
I'm just saying.
I'm an athlete.
I'm just saying.
I'm an athlete.
Because I'm just trying to hold you. See, this is what friends are supposed to do, all right? They're supposed to remind other friends of their goals.
When they're
okay?
sucking at whatever they're supposed to
when
be
they're
doing good at,
sucking,
right?
like Audi said.
Yeah.
When they're
Literally sucking,
sucking.
remind
Yeah.
You gotta remind
man.
them.
You gotta do it. For sure.
Anything you guys? Anything fun?
Oh, okay. So just one time, we're just gonna skip right over that. Okay. All right, we're just gonna skip right over that guy. He won one time. He's getting hot. He's turning red. You guys are listening.
They know me already, so they understand what's happening here.
You know what the funny thing is?
a
You know what?
joke.
You know what the funny thing is? Me and Sosa got something in common.
You guys
We
are
got,
boys.
we got
We
them
do,
keys.
we do.
You know what the funny
The
thing
little
is?
inspirational.
Oh, that's
quote.
Right?
cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. How did you get your keys, Sosa?
So I bought mine for myself.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't wear jewelry. I got my watch, my Livestrong bracelet. I think this is over, right? Like that's still going on.
Yeah.
I'm still doing
Still
it.
looks
Whatever.
good.
Like,
Still looks good.
I like inspirational things. You know?
Yeah.
So the Livestrong, that to me was really inspirational.
Yeah.
Even when Homeboy got caught doing what he was doing,
Yeah,
I still found a lot of inspiration in that. I kept that. I ended up getting the key. I thought it was cool. I don't wear jewelry.
And what's the key? I explained.
It literally is just there's a quote on it. It just says breathe. Like it literally just says the word breathe. And for me,
Yours is the same thing.
Mine says believe.
Believe. And
Yeah.
where
This
can
one I
you-
didn't
where can
buy.
you
I had a
acquire
friend
it?
actually give it to me for my birthday. It was
That's
pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
kind of want one now.
no, it's
it's pretty cool.
Pretty dope. Like it's just something to remind me every single day that life's not that serious. Remember to breathe. Remember to
That's dope.
take your time and really like kind of just just go through it. And
When I saw Cardi's, I thought that was his house keys. I was like, what I thought? I was like, he's funny, gets drunk. Can't find my keys.
I could use it for that. You know what I mean?
I'm like, oh, he's
But
probably
imagine
using
trying
keys.
to unlock the door like this. Drunk at that.
Good shit,
Wrong
that's dope, man.
keys.
That's pretty
Wrong
dope.
keys.
That's pretty dope, man.
God damn it. Wrong
That is
keys.
nice, man. Last week for me, man. I'm really getting this dad experience thing. Like, man, it's really, how can I say, he's looking for.
It's hitting home.
He only presses those when I speak. Because he doesn't listen. He automatically opens that once I start talking. But yeah, man, that lack of sleep thing, like I told you guys earlier, it is so serious, guys. If you're gonna have kids, just know there is no sleep. And let me explain it like this, because no one did it for me. Every 2 to 3 hours, you have to be up. Okay. Just think about that. There's not like a break at night. There's not like a break here. No, there's no breaks. You have to do this. You know how when you wake up and you want to go to the gym, example, like you won't go? Or like if you gotta go study,
No, he does go.
or if you gotta go study
knew I
and you
was
don't
coming.
do it, you know what I mean? You have options to not do it. With a baby, there's no options, bro. And it's like, it's getting to me, man.
He does go to the gym, but he just drives by the gym.
I drive by.
He drives by.
Yeah, it's better than not going at all.
Yeah.
Man.
To
What about
drink
last week,
water.
Audis? What about last week, Audis?
What about last week? It was excellent last week.
Didn't you see the movie The Avengers?
I did. Yo, thanks
Oh,
for
that's
reminding me.
what's up,
Oh,
man.
damn. You know what? You know what the funny thing was? I don't cry. You know what I mean? Like,
you didn't cry.
You cried.
No, I
During
know.
the Avengers?
So who?
Hold on, you cried during the Avengers?
No, I didn't. I was about to cry. I was about to cry. Thank you for reminding me about that movie. I was about to cry. So, right when, like, Tony Stark was, like, dying.
Oh, thanks for ruining it.
Wait.
Yes.
What is it? What is the spoiler alert?
Hold on.
Wait, I am sorry for those who haven't watched it yet.
Yo, they
What
got
do you mean? Spoiler. That's
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm
That's
sorry.
it, man.
Louis, it's your fault.
Just say
gotta bleep
during
it
a
out.
certain scene in the movie.
There's a certain scene in the movie. Yeah, you cut that out. Dude, everybody in the movie theater was crying. All you heard was like, that's all you heard. My daughter was looking at me. She was tearing. I'm looking to my right because I went with my sister, and she was crying. I was like, the guy to my left was crying. The girl to his left was crying. I was like, what is going on over here?
That was like when Optimus Prime, like in the like that whole thing was happening. Everybody was just like, oh my God, Optimus just died. We was like, damn, Optimus just, you know what I mean? Like you take that in, you're like, oh yeah, man, OG.
Nah, but of everybody, I like, my favorite one is Tony Stark.
Iron Man.
Yeah. I like his leadership style. I feel like he always comes through when people are like, not that they're slacking, but when they're missing like that last piece to the puzzle, he always come through.
He brings
you know
them
what I mean?
together.
He brings everybody together. Exactly.
All right, so it's like, but then again, he's the leader, but it helps that he has the right people around him too, because it's not always, you know what I'm saying, that it's not always one person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True. I mean,
it's
and
all
you
about the
can't
friends around you.
You're right about that. You know who else like stood out the most to me? His wife. She was so always supportive of him, even though she didn't want him to do certain things. She was always so supportive. You know what I mean? Like, she did it for him. Would you be okay if you didn't do this? You know what I mean? So she always put him before her, and that says a lot also when it comes to friends. You know
That's cool, man. It's like a strong man has a even stronger woman
him.
behind
Exactly.
And remember, I've told you that story about Miss Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, when she was in Oprah, and it was her and president at the time. They were together, and Oprah was like, "Wow, like the relationship you guys created at Harvard University, you know, that's where they met and stuff like that." And then, you know, Obama's like, "Well, yeah, you know, I'm glad that, you know, she's with me because she married a president." And then she answers and says, if you never would have met me, you would have never been president. See what I mean? So, like, that right there is like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So think about it, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't, you know, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be president. You know, yeah, I'm married to the president, but if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be president. So,
that's lit.
You know,
so how important is it to have the right people around you? Because look at that. Like, if he didn't have her, he wouldn't be president.
From a scale 1 to 10, if you were to ask me, it's a 10 for sure.
10 to have the right people around you.
It's not always. It doesn't.
100%.
It's
100%.
You get to 10 along the time.
yes, I want to say 10%.
He's like 1.5.
And actually bringing that into content, that kind of leads us into a segue into our quote of the day. So,
our quote of the day, guys, man. As soon as Wellington is ready to press that button, we are gonna say this quote.
Where no man has gone before.
Quote of the day, guys, today is: good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they're always there.
Yeah, that was flawless.
Comes from Google. I just don't know exactly where it came from. But that's a really good quote, guys, because it's true. You know, I have certain friends that, you know, they're the best of friends to me, and I'll probably see them once every month, once every 3 weeks. It's because we all got things going on, and understanding is where that comes from. You got to understand stuff, man. Now, Wellington, what's something that inspired you to want to follow through with this topic today?
So, for me, it's always been a case of if you surround yourself with the right people, you are just bound to succeed, right? Because at the end of the day, we all have friends, we all have relationships that could either make us or break us, right?
True.
So we all have a circle that is a good circle or a bad circle. So today's topic, I want to kind of go into that, you know, how to make sure we are surrounded with the right people to succeed in anything that we're doing. It could be sports, it could be business, it could be jobs, it could be just relationships. It could be, because it's always good to have that right friend.
Yeah.
Right? And then also, it's also good to know who's not the right friend, because unfortunately, there's people that will bring you down that wrong path. Right? Let's go rob a bank together. That's a good idea.
Dude,
So
that is a good friend. You know why? Because man, I need money. I need money.
That's a good friend.
Yo, if you call me and you say, dude, let's rob a bank, I'm like, dude, what's the plan?
We're also
if the
gonna
plan
go
is
over
compelling, dude, I'm like,
also-
so sweet. Let's jump in.
We're gonna go over the thought process of finding out if you have a good friend, okay? Because that thought process
That's a bad thought.
will get you thrown away in jail
Forever.
You'll be with your friend forever in jail.
You'll
I know,
be
right?
best friends
We will
forever.
never escape from there, right?
Has there ever been a situation like for Celso? You know what I'm saying? Like, has there been a time where you thought you were among good people and then kind of grew out of it in a sense, I would say, or at least you became more aware to what was happening?
Not really. I mean, for me, to be quite honest, like this is a good subject for me because for me, I'm kind of an introvert, right? I'm real quiet. I'm real to myself. Like I said earlier, like I try not to be found. My bad. I try not to be found, but it's I keep everybody at arm's length, right? So here's my thing with friends. Everyone is at arm's length. I meet you. I really don't show who I am until I really get to know who you are. I need to understand like what I can trust you with, what you're capable of understanding and not understanding, how I can talk to you, because you can't talk to everybody the same, right? You communicate with people differently. You could have a lot of friends and you communicate very differently with different groups.
Yep.
So you can't always be just one person. You have to be able to adapt to different groups.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It's true. I actually a cool quote. I'll show you how to move in a room full of vultures.
Yeah.
That actually I got reminding me because what you said right now is that you wait to talk to someone in a sense that you say what you're capable of understanding and not understanding. That is so
that is
bars,
powerful,
man. Because there's some people you could talk to random, like you could talk to about religion, goals, love, and there's other people that just you bullshit with.
none of it, yeah.
You just bullshit
Absolutely.
with. You
That's
just
true.
laugh. You just chill. Wow, that was dope.
Absolutely.
I really like that
Message.
message.
So that's a good way of looking at it.
Oh, hell
Me
yeah.
personally, like I look at it and in the sense of like, if we could click, right? If we are able to kind of have like the simplest common goals, we could be friends. Like an example, if I talk to you, and this is something that a lot of people need to understand. Not everyone's gonna have that same drive or that vision that you do as a friend, right? I mean, Jay-Z says it best, right? Not everyone's gonna kind of have your dream, right? Not everyone's gonna say, well, yeah, I could definitely see you do that. People are gonna kind of portray their fear onto you, right? They're gonna say, oh no, you can't. You're not gonna do that because I know you and I know myself and we know each other, so you're not gonna succeed. And that's something that everyone needs to be careful out there. Not everyone that you know, you could kind of give them your goals and your dreams because they're not going to accept it or appreciate it.
But you know what the funny thing about that is too, though, is the fact that even when you tell somebody that you consider to be a great friend and they say or they portray their fears onto you, depending on how you look at things, you can use that as a driving motivator to kind of be like, you know what? I know that you don't mean it with bad intention. However, I'm going to take that negative thought and turn it into a positive one that's going to drive me every single day to be like, because that's the thing. When you have people always cheering you up, you're good. But it's when you have those negative people, right? Or those negative ideas coming onto you that you're like, fuck, watch me. You know what I mean? Like,
you have that
watch
chip
me.
you have that
because,
chip on your shoulder.
Yeah,
I got you.
watch
I
me.
know.
That's like when you break up with a girl and then it's almost before summer and you go to the gym and you just want to freaking eat the shit out of the gym. You know what I mean? Unless you have like a negative force driving you behind it, the purpose is not. The purpose is going to be there, but the energy is going to be different. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, so you could take these
you know what?
negative
Drop the
things.
mic on that one.
You could take the negative things and turn it into a positive thing. What you're saying?
Well, yeah, you can use the negative as a driving force.
So would you
to
say
push
then,
you forward?
So would you say that it doesn't even matter if you're around good or bad people? Because if you have that mindset, it sounds like you're just constantly like whoosh, whoosh, like turn that into a positive. Turn that into a positive.
The answer is yes and no. The answer is yes and no because at the end of the day, the negative it is going to affect you at some point. You know what I mean? It's just how far you let it affect you. You know what I mean? How far are you going to be taking control of, hey, you know what? If I had a bad day, right? Like, am I going to allow that bad day to influence my next day? Not really. You know what I mean? So the positive is always amazing, is always good. Obviously, we want to be surrounded by positive people, but don't exclude those negative people because they're being negative. You know what I mean? Right. So they are the way they want to be. They are the way they want to be.
I know where he's going, and I'm gonna elaborate on that a little bit. But no, I want, because we're kind of going around. So.
Go elaborate.
So, on his point of view, like an example, it's always good to have that bad apple. Because that's kind of give you that balance, right? Because you know, you could always have the good angel, but sometimes you need to have that bad angel, because then you'll know really what you have. Because your friends, like he says, your friends will always encourage, you could do it, without actually being subconscious. And that's what we did last week when your project that you're working on. I wasn't trying to be the devil angel. I wanted to be the devil, that, you know, the person that was going to be the balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always good to be around people like that. But where I want to bring the topic is making sure, like, what makes a good friend in Celso's opinion, Lewis's, Cody's, and Wellington's opinion.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
What makes a good friend for you, Celso?
Like a checklist. Is there a checklist that you have to go through?
Not really.
Okay.
No, it's literally be honest. Like,
okay.
Really
so honesty?
Be honest. That's it.
Oh,
that's
just honest.
One thing. Just be honest.
Okay.
Either you're gonna be honest in a negative way, you're gonna be honest in a positive way, but just be real. Be who you really are. If you're gonna tell me negative things, like you were talking about, people that say, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." Like Jay-Z said, that's you can't do that. Don't tell me what I can.
Exactly.
Can't do. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's what you can't do. So, and I really listen to that, but it's cool to have those people, because those people challenge you. They motivate you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you sometimes need that. Now, on the other end, if that person, all they do is challenge you, then I really don't need you.
Yeah.
All you're going to do is question every single step that I take. Nah, man, go step over there.
It becomes annoying. Exactly. It becomes annoying, right?
Exactly.
It becomes annoying.
After a certain point, like, you see people that just, you know, there's this, their whole mentality about life is, that's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's not working. Watch me, but watch over there.
From the side.
Sit on the side and watch me do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you don't need those people constantly in your life. I mean, it's good to have people that challenge you and challenge your thought process and motivate you to do better, but you know, you really want positive people, like you said.
Yeah.
The same token, you don't want the person that's always saying, yeah, go do it. You can. That's not giving you a reality check. Be like, bro,
exactly.
Like, yeah, I feel you, but you know,
this might exactly. Yep.
So it just has to be honest. You don't want the person telling you too much of this or too much of that. Tell me what you really, really feel, and then I'll decide what to take.
How do you feel like when you have a friend, like a really good friend, or maybe not so much a really good friend, tell you like a feedback about something that they see that you don't see? Like, how do you take when somebody gives you a constructive feedback, saying something negative? Because a constructive feedback is saying something somewhat negative in a way that you have to improve upon. What's your like reaction to that?
I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate any feedback that I get, whether it's good or bad. Again, it goes back to how much good or how much bad you're throwing at me.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that I did something wrong, because again, going back to the honesty, I feel people are not honest enough with each other. Like, we live in a day and time where everybody's like, yo, just be real, be honest, until it's time to be real.
Yeah.
Be honest.
What does that mean to you, like, honest? Like, tell us a little bit, like, how have you been honest to a friend, and how did they take it? Like, give us a quick example, because there are people listening. Okay. There are people listening to us right now. Like, you just got to be real.
But before I get to examples, I want to let Lewis know, because this is what I wanted. But I want Lewis also to chime in, like, what makes a good friend before we get into the examples.
Let him finish. Hold on.
Oh no, I just wanted to go around.
All right, not even done.
Lewis has nothing to say. That's why he's like, I have nothing to say. Don't pass the bucket.
No, he's not done.
Listen,
he has many hats.
As far as examples, like, I don't have one very specific one, but I've had, you know, my thing is, I'm not going to talk about like what I do for work, but I've been in like a leadership position for quite some time. Over a lot of different companies. And I work with people that get upset, that get bothered, that every little thing like pisses them off, and every little thing is like the end of the world. And I'll tell them, listen, like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll do it first as a leader, and then I'll pull the person to the side. Listen, all right, that was me as your boss. Now this is me as your friend telling you, like, figure this shit out. Like, you're in a position right now where this is, you can make it this, or this, or you can make it that. You know what I mean? Like, real simple. And at that point, like, I tell them straight up, like, if you don't like this, if you're gonna be upset coming every single day to work, and
this might not be
just
you.
quit.
Yeah,
you know
this might not be your
This
thing.
is not for you. Like, look at it. Like, you can make really
Lewis
good money.
did
it. I don't think me and you had that conversation, but like, yo, like, I would tell you straight up, like, yo, you could do really well if you apply yourself. If you don't want to apply yourself and you just want to be mad and be angry, like, cool. do it somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
Because it affects everybody else too.
Yeah, I
It
like that.
affects everybody else.
It's like be honest. That's something I agree with 100%. Like be honest. Don't try. Just literally be yourself.
That's it.
Because you can like for people who are people, you know, if you have good people skills, your radar for bullshit is pretty up there. So when someone's like just not being themselves, you could smell that from a mile
100%.
away.
Yep.
But something for me is be honest, and a big thing for me is you have to be self-aware. You have to have
huge.
self-reflection. Like, because there are times, we've all been there where I hope, you know what I'm saying, we've all been there where you sit back and you're like, damn, I was the asshole, wasn't I? You know what I mean? It's like you need that. You can't be biased towards yourself because you're yourself. No, you have to look at your actions for what the actions are and what they did and what they represent. And you know, you have to exclude yourself from that. So me is be honest, and you have to have self-reflection, man, because if not, I'm gonna be dealing with some stubborn asshole 24/7, and it's like, bro, you know, that was your fault, and it just creates a lot of pointless arguments. I would say, because I can see pointless arguments coming from that. And going back to what you said about don't have like yes men around you, that's 100% true, man. You don't want to have a negative Nancy, and then you don't want to have a yes man around you. You want smart people who disagree with you, and I got that from Mark Cuban in the interview. He said, I'm all over the place. I have ideas for days. So I hire smart people who are there to disagree with me. Because if not, I'll be trying this, I'll be trying this, I'll be trying that, I'll be trying this. And I was like, that was just a real nice takeaway from an interview I saw with him. But be honest, self-reflection, man, and just smart people who disagree with you.
No, I agree with you. 100%.
What's something that you would look for in a friend? How do you find friends? Do you go out looking for them?
Well, Cardis goes on to the gym and he's like, "Listen, I see you pumping iron. We can pump irons together.
I know we can pump iron together. I go first, you go second. You know, on and
we'll be
off.
throwing weights at each other back and forth.
I'll spar you.
Well, you know, like the quote, like this is the way I look at it, right? You can be intentional, or so if you have one or two friends, let's say, and you want to increase your circle of friends, you will want to be intentional about it. You know what I mean? Because as you might have the same friend. I mean, I'm 30 years old now, right? So I have the same friends from like 15 years ago because we went to middle school together, we went to high school together. Maybe didn't go to the same college, but we're still being friends for like 15 years now. If you want to create, because you feel like you're lacking like a bigger group friends, just be intentional. You know what I mean? Like if you want more female friends other than just guys friends, because it's very common for guys to always have a lot of guys friends. You know what I mean? How can you bring girls friends to your circle? You know what I mean?
Applications.
Exactly.
Hand out applications.
Yeah, you're right about that. You know, I could create. We should do that. Be intentional and just let them know. Hey, look, it could go off based on the conversation you had. Hey, I like the way you think. I would like to get to know you better, you know, as friends. I mean, because you also have to be very like, how should I say, intentional about what exactly is that you want to get out of that friendship. Because when you tell a girl, example, if you want to bring more girls friends to your circle, as friends, because otherwise they're going to think something completely different. So for me, be intentional. If you really want to make more friends, be intentional.
Let them know what you're looking for.
Let them know what you're looking for. Also, if you ever think about giving a piece of advice to a friend, ask for permission. You know what I mean? Because a lot of time you want to give someone a piece of advice without asking for their permission, and then they might look at you like, who the fuck are you to tell me that? You know what I mean? It's like you can pull them to the side and be like, hey, if you consider me your friend, would you allow me to give you a piece of advice on whatever situation it is that you're going through? Let's say they got, you know, angry because of something. You know what I mean? Hey, instead of just jumping in and give them a piece of advice, just hey, look, do you mind if I give you a piece of advice based on experience or based on whatever? Once they say yes, you know what I mean? Go all in. Ask for permission. You know what I mean? And that's gonna allow you. That's gonna allow you, based on their reaction. That's gonna allow you, you know, hey, decide whether if this is somebody that you really want to continue being friends with. You know what I mean? Because some people like honesty, but then when they see it, they get defensive. They get super defensive, and then you're like, Like, what the fuck? Like, you want an honest friend, but then you can't take the honesty that's coming from me?
I like this talk.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Normally, I would just stay away from advice, but I like your approach of, hey, man, I'm your boy. Yeah. Would it be okay if I gave you advice? Like, that's cool, because normally I would just be quiet until you ask for advice. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm under the impression of, I'm under the impression that a lot of people do get offended when you try to say how to do something or how to do this. A lot of people just get upset.
They get defensive.
Exactly. That's a good way to bring it up, though.
And that's huge because, like, I'm the kind of person that I give a lot of unsolicited advice. I give advice to people. I see them in certain situations, and I'll start telling them, "Yo, do this," and then I stop myself, and I'm like, "Listen." When I feel their response being kind of negative, like, look at you, who the fuck are you talking to me like that? And I'll tell them, listen, I got advice for you. I've been through situations. Let me know you want to talk. I got you. So you got to kind of be, but at the same time, a good friend is gonna give you that unsolicited advice sometimes. Like, bro, like sit down, like you're fucking up, like you're doing wrong, like this is what you need to do. Like, be mad at me or you want, but I'm telling you the truth.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I've lost friends like that. You know, and my thing is, I have more acquaintances that I have friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? I have a lot of people that I can chill with, that I can talk to, that, we have a good time. But I don't have that full feeling of like, I can just say whatever I want without them getting sensitive. But I will tell, like, my real true friends, just like I would family. Like, for me, friends are family. Like, my real close friends are my family.
True.
Those are the people that, like, 3 a.m, you're in an accident, something happened, you
call them.
I'm there. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. If I haven't seen you in 6 months, you call me, I'm there. That's what I consider a friend. And those people, I'm going to tell you straight up. Like, if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. If you're right, I'm going to tell you right. If you haven't, a lot of times friends is people that come to you for that advice on a situation they're doing with somebody else. Usually like a loved one or, their job or their this. Yo, what would you do? And I'm going to tell you straight up, like, you're wrong or you're right. You know what I mean? So you got to be, with me, you have to be ready and understanding that that's what you're going to get from me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a direct friend. Like, I'm an unbiased human and I'm your boy. I'm here to tell you what it is. Now, Wellington, did you have like a certain criteria for people you allow into your circle?
Well, criteria in the sense of, like, you guys know me, like I'm very outgoing and stuff, but to be like a friend, like someone that I could be like, okay, let me get your opinion. I mean, you would have to be like goal oriented for me, right? You would have to be someone that I could say, okay, not that I would like to be in your position or something like that, but it's someone that I could say, okay, you've been through stuff. I could use you leverage. Right? I could use your experience or something. Not saying that I'm only looking for people to take advantage of, but it's more of a...
This nigga's like, yo.
You know what I mean?
How much you have in your bank account?
I want to be like,
I need a loan of $2,000. I can use you.
You're pre-qualifying them. You're pre-qualifying
them. In the sense of like, if it's someone, like an example, I'll use you. You're here, right? Like, I know, like you mentioned earlier, you've been in many leadership roles. So if I see myself wanting to be a leader, I'm going to leverage your experience. You're my friend. Understand what I'm saying? Now,
100%.
if it's someone that's not nowhere near what I'm looking for you, then it's like, okay, just it's a high and by kind of relationship. And now getting into a little bit more of like the meat of the topic. You know what I mean? Like, we all have friends, right? And we all grew up with circles of friends and stuff. I kind of want to go into some circles, right? Like, for me growing up, like, I was very fortunate, and I was fortunate enough to come to this country at 5 years old, and I lived in the same street for 22 years.
Oh, you didn't come on a boat?
Wow.
Oh,
really?
You did?
That's a low blow. That's horrible.
You don't remember he was 5?
I was 5. Put the life vest. What is this?
It was almost thrown off the boat to the sharks.
But anyway, so in that street that I grew up in, I met 3 individuals. We were the same age group, and we stuck by for about 20 years out of the 22 that I lived in that street. So those became my best friends. I mean, it was something that I would just literally every experience that I lived from the age I was 5 to about I was 21 years old, right?
You guys made it through the market crash.
We made it through everything, right? I mean, the girlfriends, the sports, the schools, the high schools, the you know what I mean? Just the life. And it was like, I tell people all the time, like, that right there changed me, because I always knew I had to be on point, because they would check me. Them dudes would check me, bro. Like, bro, like,
and that's the shit, bro. Like, you need people like that.
Like, them dudes would be like, yo, like, that chick is wild. Damn, is she really? Yeah, look. Oh, shit, she is wild. You know what I mean? Like, they will be checking me, and that made the friendship so much better because it was like, okay, I know, like you had said earlier, I could go to this individual, I could take it or leave it, but he's gonna tell me the truth.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell me the truth, and that right there, like those guys, I love to this day. They know who they are. Like, listen, it was just a relationship that was built on this street like no other. And I always tell people, like, I was blessed to have that, just because
That's good.
those individuals kind of made me who I am today, in the sense of like, hey, listen, these are and there was different cultures, African American, a Puerto Rican, a Dominican, and I'm Dominican. So it was different perspective on a lot of things, and it was just amazing, man. So, circles. Let's talk about some circles. You know what I mean? Like,
how do you tell a friend you don't want to be a friend no more?
Huh?
How do you tell a friend you don't want to be a friend no more?
I friend them in Facebook.
I want to answer to that question.
No, yeah,
right? Because how do you tell a friend you don't want to be a friend no more?
Like,
or do you
like
even
a
actually
good friend that you have like unconditional love for, but like goals are changing. Like you want to better yourself.
See, I think that person is easier to have the conversation with.
Yeah.
When you have that real like deep seated love for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you really see them like, bro, like we're at a point where I just don't feel like I can help you anymore. Like, it's easier to have that conversation.
I can't just chill and do
you think
nothing
so?
anymore.
I think so.
Really?
Because if you really care for that person, like you're gonna let them know. Like it's like.
But there wouldn't be a fallout then.
Exactly.
Think about it.
But this is gonna be there's a separation. So it's not necessarily a fallout in the sense like nothing dramatic.
Screw you, yeah.
Right, but. I mean, I've never been through this situation, but just imagine, and I don't know if you guys have been through a situation. Imagine you have a friend that's, abusive, either whether it's to drugs or to another person.
Yep.
And you realize, okay, there's nothing else I can do for you. Because I've been in, not personally, but I've seen situations, where people that are abusing drugs that can't get themselves clean. And you do everything you can to try to help this person. And this person is stealing, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. And you get to a point, it's like, look, I care for you, I love you, but there's nothing more that I can do, so I have to remove myself.
Exactly.
Right? So, but that's a conversation that you're going to have. Now, the other friends...
That's when the honesty come into play, like you said earlier. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
With that, and that, I feel that's a little bit easier because you're really explaining... You're giving the person a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I've had friends that we just stop talking.
You
just lose
it happens.
You stop talking, you lose communicate, you lose contact, you stop communicating with them. And there is no explanation as to why. These are people that, like, maybe you guys, when you were little, were, like, spending the night at each other's house, and you were waking up and playing ball together. You were doing everything together. Like, your mom was cooking for them. You went to their house, their mom cooked for you. And then all of a sudden, you just stopped talking.
Yeah.
And that happens, too. We grow up. People just grow apart. And it's not like there was no one reason why you stopped talking.
Or they move out, or they move,
Exactly. And
I've
stuff,
had that,
that happens a lot. Like, that happens, I think, a lot more than the long-lasting friendships. Like, you talking about your friendship. You named 3 people right off the top of your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're in your 30s, and, like, 3 people came
40s.
to your mind instantly. 40s?
38. Wellness is 38. Wellness is 38.
He's on that hill. He's on the hill.
You saw his face?
Those 30.
You saw his face? I wish, like, we had a different angle just to see his face.
He's on the hill.
Zoom in on his face.
Yo, but we're not going to make fun of age because...
No, you're like 30. You're like 30. Sosa's like 30, guys. Don't listen to him. He's like 30. But he's taken by life. Right? There he is. There we go. That's what I wanted to see.
Hey, that was, you see? That was a good reaction right
good.
there. Yo,
like you had mentioned, like, it's all how you really kind of create that kind of friendship. Yeah. Like, there's people, like, I'm telling you right now, these 3 individuals that I'm talking about, they can walk into this room and they'll be like, nigga, you're fucking crazy doing this show. I'll take their opinion because they know me from the beginning, right? So I know them, and we all know that we're always got each other's back through good and through bad and through the middle, right? But there's certain people, like I said earlier, you just meet and they only know you for the good. And when it turns to the bad, they don't even want to be around
you. You also ever praise your friends for being what they are to you? Like, you ever, like, send a message or text message? And I'm bringing that up because nothing the other day, like a couple of weeks ago, I sat on my bed and I sent a message to one of my good friends. And like I said earlier, I don't cry. But at that point, that message was so, like, touching to me because it was the first message that I had ever sent to this friend. And I got teary-eyed, and I was like, fuck. And I was telling my friend how much I love him. Yeah. I was like, dude, I love you for this, and that. You know what I mean? Because we say I love you to your mom, to your daughter, to your girlfriend. You know what I mean? And we use that often. But then when was the last time you said I love you to one of your good friends and be like, hey, I love you for helping me get out of this situation. You know what I mean? I was being negative. I was thinking differently. And, you know, have you guys ever, like, taken initiative to actually do that? Because, believe it or not, we never take a time to actually sit down, reflect, and be like, bro, I fucking love you.
And that's why
like,
we had
episode you.
10.
Like, I love you. You know what I mean? Like, I love...
Are you admitting something right now?
Like, I love you for it.
Weird.
I know.
He loves it. But I
so
know what
excited.
So excited. But
let them have their privacy over there. Let them have their privacy.
But I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
know, and that's what we had the conversation in episode 10. Right, showing appreciation and no one making sure that you show people that, hey, listen, you know, I appreciate you, I love you, I'm glad that you're in my circle, in my life. Right, it's important to kind of keep reminding individuals that, hey, you do matter. Right, because we never know how people going through their days, man. Yeah. There's people that are suicidal, guys. Yeah, there's people that are committing suicide because they might not get that. I care, I love you, I'm thinking of you. Right,
oh, you're doing great.
So you're doing great.
You're doing great.
You have to make sure that going into that a little bit, that we tell people, you know, and I hate when I see this on TV, like when someone passes away, they do like a, real quick, we had the conversation last week about Nipsey Hussle, right?
Yeah.
We had the conversation about Nipsey.
Yep.
And it's like, oh my goodness, everybody was like, you know, now Nipsey. And
right.
I get it.
What happened before that?
But where was 90 million people before?
Yeah.
Like, not saying there wasn't there, but it's like, okay, now we're praising him. And the same thing happened with Selena.
Yep.
And the
because
same
he died.
happened.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's like
it
everybody
happens,
passes and it's like, okay.
Oh, now you notice him.
Now right?
Now we notice how much good he was doing because he passed away.
Right.
Like,
you know?
like where the fuck were you at?
Some people
like,
gotta get the flowers while they can still smell them, man.
Exactly.
That's what it
Oh,
is,
these people
man.
read
I was
books.
just gonna say
Damn.
the same thing.
Oh, you guys read books.
That was
Rap.
sweet.
That's rap music.
Pay attention to life. Yo, but it's funny you say that because I say that all the time. I was just having this conversation yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like I've already told my kids.
Yep.
I told my mom.
Yep.
If I pass before you, I don't want a big funeral.
Yeah.
I don't want people coming. Yeah. The people that want to show me love, show it to me right now, yo.
Yeah.
I can't hear it when I'm done.
Yeah.
When I'm not here, I can't hear none of that. I can't
You're right.
Yo, I'm with it.
Show it to me right now. Otherwise, like keep that over there.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Louis, as far as circles, man, any things?
I want to say, I don't know, like circles. I didn't.
Or individuals that kind of, you know.
Well, for me, this is what I'm gonna say. I grew up just like observing a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I played a whole bunch of different sports. I was a part of a whole bunch of like weekend programs and stuff like that growing up. So I never really had a chance to be a part of a circle of friends who just do things together all the time. Because I would be a part of football, and then that season is over. Now I'm with my track people, and then that season is over. Now I'm with my boxing people, and now that season's over. Now the summertime with my summer friends. You know what I mean? So it was always I always had different points of views, and I never got tied down to just a certain
clique,
a clique. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I was always, just a social butterfly. I was an individual. But I do have one good friend that we were best friends up into the 7th grade. Then he had to move away, and then he came back like 6 years later, and then it was like he never left. And we weren't staying in touch during that time either. He just came back. He was still that same individual. I was the same individual, and we're still rocking to this day. You know what I mean? So I have like that one go-to friend. I have a few. I don't want all my friends to be like, damn, not me, damn, not me. But what I'm saying,
I thought it was that friend, but I'm not. No, I'm not. Like, damn.
Even those friends know that I chill with this one friend all the time. But what it is that man, I just never really had that. My parents really raised me as like, no, you're not gonna stay there for too long. You're gonna go here. You're gonna stay busy. But what I did notice is that you always want to observe the people that you're around, period. Because when it does get to the point where you're surrounding yourself like with a certain group of friends, you know what to look for. Because when you're always around all these different type of people, like I was with people who are in jail right now for the rest of their life. At the same time, I was with people who are starting their own business and are being super successful. I was around all of that. So just expose yourself to as many different people as you can, so you can pick the right characteristics for your finale crew, your end crew, in a sense.
How about when your mama tell you see that guy over there? He is not a good friend. Because you have your parents jump into like helping you decide. Look, you see that guy right there? Like, I don't like him.
That's a bad
like, you do not not bring him here. You ever had that experience before where your mom or your dad told you, I don't want that guy here?
Yeah, I don't want that guy
Never
here.
had that?
No.
Any circles, any cliques that you could kind of remember growing up?
I'm a lot like Lewis,
Okay.
right? So I'm that person that's, like I said, going back to the whole introverted part of who I am. I sit back, I observe. Like when I was in school, I always sat in that one chair, just watching everything happening out in front of me, and seeing like, okay, how people move. You see how people move. Like, all right, this person I could trust. That person I can't trust so much. But the same thing. My friends were the people that lived on my street. You know what I mean? The kids that I grew up with, we're all outside playing, and we became friends. Then you move, and then you got new friends on the new street, and that continues. Right now, same thing. I got my boy that I rock with pretty much all the time. We met through work now about 7, 8, 9 years ago, and like that's the person that I rock with all the time. Like. If he needs advice, if I need to talk, I mean, I don't really ask for a lot of advice, but if I need to like run something by somebody, that's who I run it by.
This is one question I'll ask because this verifies how good of a friend this person is. Will he help you move?
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
Literally, bro.
That's the
I had
criteria.
some old dude tell me that once, and I was like, "Wow, that's
true." And that's how I know that. I mean, I haven't had to call on him for that, but I know that's that person. I had to change out my wheels, and he's like, "I could do it," but he was like, "Yo, when you gonna do it? I'll come through. I'm gonna help you out." So he came through just to help me do something that I could already do on my own.
So a friend that is super reliable.
Exactly.
Reliable.
That's something else. That's something that we can put on the list. Just being reliable, right? 100%. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like a reliable in the sense of like, okay, we need to move. It could be just for advice.
Anything.
It could be you're emotionally reliable because us being dudes, girls assume that we don't. But sometimes we go through moments, and sometimes we go through a midlife crisis, right? Yep. So being reliable, it's big. Now. So let's dive a little bit more.
You see the transition in the voice change?
You guys are
now. Let's see.
Yeah, we just noticed that right there.
Y'all need something that measures that. Because you'll see that.
And then you can see
it's right there. And then go watch it later. You see that you jump.
Yeah, horrible. Listen. Anyways,
guys, for you watching or for you listening, leave a comment. Just want to know what you think. If you have a good friend, a bad friend, a future-to-be friend, and someone you already left behind, hey, why?
What's a must-have quality? Wellington, what were you going to say?
So I was going to go into it like as far as like, okay, so that's like the good side of friends, right? Now let's go a little bit into the bad side of friends, right? How can we kind of make sure that, go down a quick list. Maybe this individual might not be the best individuals for me to confide as a friend. And I just want like one thing from everyone, and then we're going to go into the recap, okay, guys? So go out. Can I start, or should we go?
You know what? I'll start.
You want to start? What in Caudi's world will say, okay, you know what? This individual might not be a good friend, and be honest.
A good friend. I mean, it
a
would
bad
be
friend, a bad, like someone that's
friend.
Bad, yeah.
It would be someone who always listen to respond and not to understand.
Yeah. Got it. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means a lot
to
me.
People.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree.
I say someone that's selfish, someone that for a fact that it's all about them. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's me. Like you could be telling a story and they're gonna butt in to say they're part of the story. Yeah. But I remember when we did.
They always got to one up on everything.
Exactly. Yeah. That's an individual that I will stay away from just because at the end of the day, they might be a backstabber. There might be someone that are gonna twist the truth to benefit them.
Yeah.
And that's bad to have in your circle because something might actually pop off one day or might happen, and that individual right there is gonna be. Not the right person.
You know what it is, though? Your friend is a teammate. That person is a competitor.
Oh, I like that.
That person is a competitor. The person that you're saying something, they always got to one up and do better. And they're competing with you. That's not your teammate.
That's true.
Right, that went down. Your friend is your teammate.
I would say another one would be. Damn, I just had it. I just forgot about it.
God let's have Lewis go.
I'll go on with this one.
Go.
So for me, a friend is somebody that I can trust with my family or my loved ones when I'm not there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I could leave you around my girl. I could leave you with my kids and I know that you're gonna take care of them. And you're gonna treat them like they're your kids. I can leave you with my girl and know that you're not gonna try. Not that I have a girl.
You wanted to make that clear because earlier you said you were taken.
By life.
I know, right?
But I could, like a friend is like, I could leave you around my girl and not have to worry about, was he trying to like do some like grimy shit or something behind my, because I've had friends that have done that.
Of course.
I've had people
I think we all have done
that.
I think we all have.
My boy, and they'll be like, your girl's mad cool, and then I find out later that he's talking to her and sliding in like, come on, man.
That's fucked up. Now, what do you do in that situation? Like, I would you give him a call, or would you be the? My bad. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Louis, this is when you keep me on check, man. This is when you go, wait. Where you is, Louis?
What I would say, a bad quality in a friend. Damn, I can't really
hairdo.
I can't really think of one. A bad quality in a friend.
Like, I'm not messing with this dude. This dude's whatever. You know what I mean? Liar, maybe.
I mean, just I don't know. Like, for me, it's little characteristics that I catch up on. I can't even describe it right now. Okay. I don't know. There's just certain things that you can tell how a person is by the certain words they use when they speak and stuff like that. And then it's just kind of hard for me to like really pinpoint out right now a situation where it's like, I can't fuck with this guy because I check this out.
A friend is always late.
They're someone who thinks they're entitled. I want to say someone who feels entitled.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like at least like one of my most recent experiences with someone. I was like, I don't really fuck with this guy. It's someone who feels entitled. Like, bro, like the world don't owe you shit. I don't care who you are, where you're from. What the world don't owe you shit, man. Like, and my mindset on life is that, bro, if I die, this is gonna keep going. Like, the world doesn't owe you anything. You know what I mean? So it's like when people have that arrogance, you know what I mean? Like, no, I can do that. No, I can do this. I can do that. And it's just like, I can't work with you because you really don't see like the adult vision of life. Like, no. Like, I'm looking at my son right now. I'm going through it. Like, if he ever got snappy with me in the future, I'm like, you thought you was feeding yourself? You thought you was preparing this bottle? Like, no, we all need people with us. So I want to say, just entitlement. Like, no, you're not entitled to anything. I would say that's a very bad.
You know what I think we are entitled, and I really love the fact they say that we're entitled to go on a group trip.
Sure. Let's we'll discuss.
Come on, man.
Let's
go get wild. Let's go get wild.
Go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to touch on something Louis just said about friends, because this is important to me as a parent, and and you guys are all going to go through this as parents as well. Is when you go through it yourself, as far as friends go, like, I could very easily cut people out of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real easy. Somebody gives you a negative, you're like, all right, I'm not rocking with you no more. Like, you're not important. Like, I'm not fucking with you. Your kids are gonna go through the same thing, and this is huge. And I just went through this with my daughter. My daughter is, freshman in college right now.
Real quick, how many kids do you have?
Let's step away from that topic.
I just want to say the experience.
I got multiple.
All right, there we go. Like if he was a boxer, how many belts do you have?
I got multiple.
Oh, you got multiple. He knows what he's talking about. That's what I'm trying to say.
Listen, I'm experienced.
There we go.
So the thing with my daughter is, again, she's a freshman in college, so she had a bunch of friends, in middle school, friends in high school, girls that she's not cool with, and girls are girls, right?
Yeah.
But I had a conversation with her one time. Like, listen, like, you can't be that quick to cut people out of your life. You're gonna end up alone, and we all need somebody. Everybody pretends that you don't. Everybody pretends that we can do life on our own. We can't. We need people. We need family. We need friends. Like, that's just really important to have somebody that you can lean on. You can't do it all yourself. It's impossible, no matter how much you think you can. So that's something that I had to like really have a sit down conversation with her. Listen, like, don't be quick to cut people off, because they might be wanting to cut you off for something that you did or you said, and they overlooked that or they accepted that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to be that understanding as well. You can't just be ready to cut everyone off just because they do something.
The understanding part.
Yeah, like, that's huge. I mean, again, there's a line, right? But you can't just jump to that line quick. Like, we just live in a day and time where everybody's like, fuck you, I don't need you. I don't need nothing.
You're capable of doing it. Just have a reliable threat, in a sense. Like, I know I'll cut you off, but I don't want to just do it to do it because I can do it.
Right, exactly.
That's dope.
So
you
have to accept that we need people. Like, as much as we pretend we don't, we all pretend we're self, like, everything is. Nah, like, we need people.
Damn,
it's like this whole podcast, man. Like, we're all in it. We're doing it together, man. This is an example of surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yes.
This is a great example. Wellington?
Right, so we're gonna go into the recap, man.
Recap.
Just let's go ahead and recap it, Lewis. I'll do the spoken word.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, man. So the recap, man. My boy Celso at C Morales 625. You can find him on MySpace, MySpace. Nah, I'm joking. Instagram. C Morales 625 Instagram. But some dope things that my boy Celso said today, man. You know, you don't want to talk to everyone about anything and everything. You know, there's some people who are capable of understanding certain things and just not understanding certain things. You know, you want them to be honest. You know, your mentality. If your mentality is bad, you got to get those people out of your life, man. Your friend is your teammate, not your competitor, guys. Also, something else that my boy Gaudi's mentioned: ask permission to give advice. I was someone who's might be changed after today, man. I was changed because normally I don't give advice unless you really ask for it, because most of the time, in my opinion, people don't listen. But if you approach it the way Gaudi said, hey, I'm your friend, would you mind me giving you some advice? That's a really cool way to do it. Wellington didn't input anything today. I don't even know why he was here, to be honest with you. He was there for the sound effects.
This is what I
He said something about pre-qualifying a friend.
What is this, a house?
What is this house?
The credit score.
But he did mention that it's always good to have a bad apple because it's something that motivates you. And if you have a common goal, you guys can work it out. That's something else that Wellington had brought up. But overall, man, for me was self-reflection. You gotta have self-reflection, and you can't be entitled if you wanna be a part of the Playbook cast. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that's really what we wrapped up today, man.
Awesome, man.
That's pretty amazing, bro.
All right, Cody. So let them know, where can they find us? Where can we be
Dude, they can find us under your bed, under your mattress. We have all that money sitting. We're watching you 24/7.
24/7.
365 days of the year. So, guys, we're always live.
Whoa, did that light go out?
No
all right,
way.
Wrap it up, guys, because this is going to look terrible.
I know.
What happened.
Wrap it up.
Jeez.
All right, guys, you can find us where?
Say
it fast.
Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram,
Yep.
YouTube,
iTunes.
huge, iTunes, Spotify. You can find us everywhere, anywhere. God damn it. Bye.